Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
By Eileen Kelly. The $5 million COP, How the Jacksonville Pension Program Can Turn Police, Firefighters into Millionaires. When Bobby Deal retired from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office last month, he did so with the promise of a nest egg worth at least $4.9 million, a sum he'll be paid over the next 25 years. Deal now earns nearly 50% more per year as a retiree than he did when he worked for the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. That's just for starters. A guaranteed 3% cost of living increase annually and the ability to bankroll a separate pension funds from his deferred retirement option plan account potentially paid by taxpayers will allow Deal one day to bring home twice as much money per year as a retiree as he did when he worked. Deal, though considered highly paid when he was a cop, is far from alone as a pensioner who will make considerably more in retirement than when he was working. Deal is among a group of July 16 retirees who are guaranteed to turn $4 million in drop benefits into $11 million in additional pension benefits. The drop program is considered one of the greatest perks of the job for Jacksonville police officers and firefighters. It is much more lucrative than any other drop program for state and other city employees. No other police and fire pension fund in the state offers such lavish guarantees, money on top of a regular pension, potentially for life. And no other large municipal pension fund in the state is in such dire financial shape as the Jacksonville Police and Fire Pension Fund, which is $1.65 billion in debt and is so underfunded that the city's bond ratings have suffered. Our pension benefits are so generous that we really are creating millionaires, City Councilman Bill Gulliford said. Police and firefighters say they have worked hard for these benefits, which were negotiated long ago and approved by the City Council. The drop program allows police officers and firefighters with just 20 years of service the chance to put 5 years of future pension checks into what amounts to a secondary, high-interest retirement account while they continue to work and draw their regular pay. Related, city pension in hand, Bobby Deal now seeks $120,000 job. Most Florida cities require their retirees to take their drop earnings with them when they officially leave work. Not in Jacksonville. The program is so enticing that only a handful of retirees each year decide to withdraw their drop earnings to spend or invest on their own. The rest, between 80 and 130 or so retirees a year, know their earnings will double, triple, even quadruple if they play it safe and invest their money here, in a troubled pension fund that has taxpayers acting as a bank when the stock market falters. Taxpayers have all the risk. The Jacksonville Police and Fire Pension Fund has been good for retirees. John Keene, the executive administrator over the fund, became the leading advocate for enhanced benefits for police officers and firefighters. Deal, as one of the fund's trustees, helped to secure them. Since the 1990s, police and firefighters gained progressively better benefits, leading to this, the ability to retire after just 20 years at any age, a 3% cost of living increase on the pensions, a supplement to help pay for insurance costs in retirement, and the creation of the DROP program. This DROP program was supposed to be cost neutral when the Internal Revenue Service signed off on the Jacksonville plan 15 years ago. It has been anything but that. A retiree's drop account is guaranteed to earn 8.4% interest each year. A bad year of trading on Wall Street means nothing to Deal and other retired police and firefighters, thanks to long ago negotiated deals between former Mayor John Delaney and the pension fund, where Deal served as a decision-making trustee for 17 years. 7 times in the 15 years drop has been offered, taxpayers were forced to make up the difference when the market value of the pension fund's returns fell below 8.4%. Considering that most retirees are paid from their drop accounts in equal, set amounts 26 times a year, the payouts and the guaranteed growth of 8.4% on the remaining balance of their accounts offer a much better return than a savings account, U.S. Treasury bonds, many mutual funds and stock investments. During the worst of the recession between late 2007 and late 2008, when taxpayers saw their 401k funds and stock portfolios obliterated, the Jacksonville Police and Fire Pension Fund had market returns of negative 16.12%. Taxpayers made up that loss and then added 8.4% for a total payout of nearly 25% that year. City finance officials did not want to comment on the matter but did acknowledge in an email that they do not know what it cost taxpayers that year, or for any of the other 6 years when the market did not deliver the promised 8.4%. Others who have studied Jacksonville's long-standing pension promises and the economic fallout of those promises do talk. And they are usually slack-jawed by the numbers from the Florida Times Union analysis of drop. The newspaper found that a group of 16 who retired last month are being promised more than $11 million collectively in future payouts just from their drop accounts. That does not include what they'll take home from their regular pensions. There's nowhere on the planet that I am aware of that offers such a high, compounded rate of return that is guaranteed over decades. Where can I and the rest of the Jacksonville taxpayers, for that matter, sign up? Asked Tom McDaniels, a Jacksonville resident who has followed the city's attempt at pension reform closely. While retirees are protected when the market performs poorly, taxpayers are not. They absorb the risk without ever getting paid back in better years. It's fleecing the taxpayers, McDaniels said. Jacksonville's version of drop also allows the retirees to leverage time. The longer the money is invested in the pension fund, the more money the retiree makes, regardless of the true value of the investments. In other words, the balance on the account grows 8.4% for 20, 30, or even 50 years while the retiree draws guaranteed payments 26 times a year. Millionaires next door. Deal decided to invest and draw on his drop account over the next 25 years. On top of his regular pension, Deal will draw more than $52,000 a year from his drop account. By being able to have his pension funds in a high-interest account for 5 years before he retired, what would have been a $546,585 pension for his 35 years at the sheriff's office will become $1.3 million, a difference of $762,034. At the end of his drop plan in June 2039, Deal will have collected $4.9 million in combined pension and drop benefits. His drop benefits end that year, but his pension will continue. He is due to receive $210,845 in 2040. He will receive an additional 3% every year after that. Most employees who retired in July decided to invest and draw from their drop accounts over the next 30 years. One chose 42.6 years. 2 people who retired in the spring, one a firefighter and the other a police officer, opted to invest and draw from their accounts for more than 50 years. In doing so, they will have been paid 4 times the amounts they would have received had they taken lump sums. If they die sooner, the payments will continue, passed to surviving spouses, children, and even grandchildren if they are named in the deceased retiree's trust. Former fire captain Edward Brackett is just 44 and retired after 25 years of service. His drop account had a balance of $326,866.68 when he left work in March. He has asked to draw on that account for the next 51.5 years. The pension fund or taxpayers, depending on the stock market, will pay Brackett $1,070 every other week from his drop account. All the while, Brackett will receive a regular pension, which now is almost $60,000 annually. By the time Brackett is done collecting from his drop account, he will be 95, should he live that long. By then, he and/or whomever his trust is passed on to, will have received $1,432,796 because he was in drop. Vanessa Bass, a former police officer who is 45, chose the same option after working with the sheriff's office for 25 years. She's turning her $244,243.04 drop account into $1,070,624 over the next 51.5 years. Just between the two of them, that is $1.93 million more than the lump sum pension payouts other Florida cities would have required them to take. This is just totally ridiculous, said Dominic Calabro, President and Chief Executive Officer of Florida Tax Watch, a nonpartisan taxpayer research institute and government watchdog. Generous is not even a word for it, Calabro said. It is dysfunctional. We don't know of any pension system in the United States that has such ridiculous and unbelievable perks. Many of these folks become the millionaires next door. Many like Calabro say the time is now not in 30 years, as Mayor Alvin Brown proposes to drop. The City Council likely will discuss just that in the coming weeks, when it votes on a plan that Brown and the pension fund hammered out months ago. This is absolutely preposterous, Gulliford said. Gulliford said those who have tried to rein in out-of-control pension costs currently costing taxpayers $153 million this year with an anticipated pledge of another $40 million a year for more than a decade received significant pushback from the pension fund and union members. They think they should be guaranteed something, he said. Anyone who has any fiscal responsibility and fiscal acumen would say that this is crazy. I'm not so sure the agreement on the table is in the best interest of the taxpayers. We could pass this thing that is on the table only to have people in my position 10 years from now say, wow, we are in a bad or worse position. How it works. The rationale behind drop varies. Some believe it is an incentive to keep employees on the job, giving them a reason to stick around at least 20 years so that there isn't a brain drain caused by an exodus of seasoned employees. Others say it is an incentive to rid the public sector of what are typically higher-paying jobs because only those police and firefighters with at least 20 years of service can apply for the drop in Jacksonville. On one point, there is no debate, drop is lucrative. The police officer or a firefighter who hits the 20-year service mark has three options: enroll in drop, wait to enroll, or opt out. There is no record of police and firefighters who have opted out of drop after meeting the eligibility requirements. Enrolling in drop is a pledge that the police officer or firefighter officially will leave the job within a specified time frame, up to 5 years. Deal went with the maximum time, 5 years. As a senior-level employee, Deal was entitled to a pension of 80% of his average monthly salary of the previous 2 years. The drop payments put into Deal's account almost immediately started compounding interest annually at 8.4%. In January 2010, after Deal entered drop, his regular pension in that account was given a 3% cost of living boost, and again his payments compounded annually at 8.4%. That scenario happened again and again until July, when Deal, 59, and who by then had worked for the department 35 years, hit the maximum allotted time he could be in drop, 5 years. On July 4, he retired, leaving more than $500,000 in the police and fire pension fund. Deal's earnings will grow just as they did when he entered drop in July 2009. For 2015, Deal will have earned $153,045 in pension benefits between his regular $100,701 pension and $52,344 from his drop account. Deal's top income earned when working was $109,221. Deal's regular pension in 2016 will grow by 3%. On top of that, again he will receive $52,344 from drop. In fact, Deal will receive $52,344 from drop every year until his account runs dry in mid-2039. At the same time, his regular pension will grow 3% a year. That means by 2030, 15.5 years from now, Deal's combined pension benefits will be $209,233. For his last year in the drop program, which ends in June 2039, he will receive $231,017 in combined benefits. By then, Deal would have been paid $4.9 million. Deal says the current retirement perk, drop, is better than what police had before. What we had before was the drop dead plan, Deal said. What we were doing is having people work until they dropped dead. They couldn't afford to walk out the door. Many retirees. Deal is far from alone as a retiree, making more a year than those still working at the sheriff's office. He was one of 16 police officers and firefighters who retired last month and have opted to keep the bulk or all of their drop accounts in the pension fund. The value of all of these 16 drop accounts last month was $4,538,207. By the time the retirees finish drawing from these drop accounts, the amount actually paid out to just 16 retirees will mushroom to $11,651,142, thanks to the annual 8.4% guaranteed by taxpayers. That's a difference of $7.11 million that taxpayers must pick up should the market not produce 8.4% annual returns on investments. That is an incredible amount that would go to just a few retired employees, said Clay Yarborough, the council president. That is the exact reason that we need a different plan in place. The July 16 retirees provide a snapshot of the future as the city grapples with getting pension costs under control. At a relatively low 80 retirees a year, that means that if the other retirees realize similar-sized payouts to the $11.65 million committed to the July drop retirees, about $58.25 million would be committed to drop payouts from 1 year's retirees alone. Similar commitments could be expected every year. It wouldn't surprise me, City Councilman John Crescimbeni said of the promised payouts for just 16 retirees. It's a contractual obligation the City Council approved. The drop and pension program rattled businessman and former Mayor John Payton, who was elected after Delaney struck the deal with the pension fund. Payton did not return repeated phone messages left on his cell phone over the last few weeks.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County COPWATCH with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is if I got some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.